Hi guys, I'm Judy Elmore and I'm a freelance editor with Black Wolf Editorial Services. For the past couple of weeks, we have been talking about various different things associated with editing and the stages of editing, along with show versus tell, and of course some of the tricks that I use myself within my own editing and that of my clients. Well, today we're going to talk about a few more of the tricks that I use within my own editing and within client editing. I want to start with the was edit. Now, this is a type of edit that I tend to use towards the later stages of developmental editing, when it's getting ready to go towards the copy editor and moving into that copy editing phase. But I still look at this because it's about tightness of language. So what you do is you literally search your manuscript for every instance of the word is, are, was, and were. Those are all different variants of the word was. And you look at that sentence and can you reword it or rework that sentence to remove that was type word? I'll give you an example. This particular example is a very simple one. So Gary was working on the wagon. Well, get rid of the word was, and to make it a bit stronger, Gary worked on the wagon. Another one that is maybe a little bit more complicated. He was taller than me. Well, a possible rework could be he stood 2 inches taller than me. It adds a bit of show and it gives a little bit more of that perception of how a character may perceive others around them because you have a bit more detail. But it is a stronger sentence because it doesn't have the word was. Let's look at this example. The loud music from the party at the house was muffled. The bass was making the window and the door vibrate. As in typical garages, there was the usual clutter of boxes, small tools, and outdoor furniture. There are 3 instances of the word was within this passage. Not only that, you have no clue as to what type of story this came from. If we go through a was edit and make it a bit stronger, more show, we come up with something like this. Even though the music from the party at the house was muffled, the window and the door vibrated with each doof doof of the bass. Meanwhile, I searched around the garage and the usual clutter of boxes, small tools, and outdoor furniture for a place to hide. You have this element of suspense to this. There is still one instance of the word was, but it's a lot cleaner and a lot easier to read. An extension of this is the said edit. It's very similar to the was edit, but instead you're hunting out the word said. But you're not necessarily going to be looking for just said either. You're going to be looking for all dialogue tags. Can you rework your passages? You're going to look to see if you can convert some of your dialogue tags into action tags where it's appropriate. And you're going to be looking at seeing if you can find a way between balancing the dialogue tagging and the action tagging within your passages. Basically, the issue here is that dialogue can start to become a he said, she said fest, especially when there is more than 2 characters in the scene. And you need a way of removing the said to make it more interesting. Let's look at this example. And excuse me in advance if I cringe off the screen at my own writing. And yes, folks, this is my own writing. Please, Nestle, let me go to her, pleaded the one that was driving Lord Nestle's actions. Soon, Nikolai, Nestle replied. I promise. But she needs me, Nikolai said. What if they come for her again? Who will protect her? Soon, Nikolai, Nestle said again. You'll be with her soon. Nestle wondered whether he was telling Nikolai a lie or not. For far too long he found himself saying the same thing over and over to Nikolai. You'll be with her soon. The spirits will keep her safe long enough for you to be with her. Soon. But recently Nestle started to question the truth of his words. But she needs me, Nikolai said again. Soon, Nikolai. Okay, There are so many things wrong with this, and in my defense, this is something I wrote 10 years ago, and I have not looked at it since until I started putting together this presentation. I was deliberately hunting out something that was loaded down with sets. Look how many of them are there. That is scary. Not only that, you have this Nestle and Nikolai constant repetition thing going on, and I'm cringing behind the scenes. So let's look at a possible edit and how it would work here. Please let me go to her. Lord Nestle looked upon his friend with a breaking heart. Nikolai was curled up in the corner, shivering, panic ruling his actions. The desperation was so evident in his eyes. Yet Nestle was forced to repeat himself time and time again. Soon, Nikolai, I promise. You'll be with her soon. But she needs me. There was a hint of tears in his voice. What if they come for her again? Who will protect her? The spirits will keep her safe long enough for the rites to be concluded. Trust me, you'll be with her soon. Meanwhile, Nestle silently prayed to the good spirits that they would not turn his words into a falsehood. Much stronger, don't you think? At least I do. Will this be the version that stays for the final edits? I don't know. Haven't looked at the manuscript in years. I also want to talk about crutch words. It doesn't matter who you are. All writers tend to have a list of words that we fall back on while we're writing. We use this list of words to describe actions or settings. I seem to have a favoritism towards looking, eyes, and breathing. My characters breathe a lot, and I suppose it's a good thing because oxygen is necessary. Maybe. But sometimes we actually don't realize we're doing it, and it's not until a critique partner or a beta reader or an editor actually points it out to us that we realize that we've done this. One of my words that was like that was actually eyes. I didn't realize I used eyes that many times within such a short space. What you do is you create a list of your crutch words. You just have it sitting there in a spreadsheet. Make sure you put all variants of the word in your spreadsheet. For example, the word ran, run, running. And this will just allow you to search for those words. So when you're editing, you like the was edit and the said edit, you literally search out every single instance of that word and you go, is it appropriate? Or do I need to rework this passage and get rid of it? Am I using it too many times? Don't just delete all instances of the word. Sometimes that word is necessary. Just is one of those words that has a very distinctive meaning when it is put in conjunction with another word. For example, just punishment is very different to punishment. I have a large list of crutch words, and this is just some of the crutch words that I happen to have. Like I said before, my characters breathe a lot, so I have breathe, breath, breathed. I have excel, inhale, because like I said, my characters breathe, so I have all variants of that word on my list. I also have was, is, are, said, all of those other words from the other edits on my crutch word list too. It's not that I fall back on them because I deliberately, consciously am aware of them now, and so I won't, but it's still in my list to check in my final edits, do the searches. How many times have I gotten lazy and just used it? In our next video, we're going to talk about depth of perception. We're going to talk about point of view and various different point of views that you might have. We're going to talk about third person versus first person and the advantages of each. We're going to talk about what it actually means to have a shallow perspective or a deep perspective. This video will not be released until January 2019. In the meantime, if you have any questions about what we talked about today, or any of the other videos for that matter, feel free to ask your question in the comments below. I am taking a look at them and answering all questions. Alternatively, you can contact me on Twitter, and that's at blackwolf_ed, or you can contact me on Facebook, and that's Black Wolf Editorial, or you can contact me through my website, blackwolfeditorial.com. If you are interested in my personal projects, you can contact me through Twitter, and that's at Judy L. Moore, or you can find me on my website, and that's at judylmoore.com. Meanwhile, I look forward to helping you take your writing to the next level.